The first matter we have on in this session is the matter of Zurab Tiskaridis versus Irina Camp et al., case number A-23-867845-C. If I could have counsel for the parties and the parties state their names and appearances for the record, please.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Phillip, Varricchio, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Hello, my name is Alexander Boftovich.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Bogdovich.
Hello, my name is Irina Kemp.
Good morning, Ms. Camp.
Good morning.
When last we were together, I know the two of you disconnected before we were concluded with the hearing, and so I'm glad that you had notification of today. I did review, today we are on for a determination of the amount of attorney's fees and costs that will be awarded to the plaintiffs for your failure to respond to the discovery and failure to appear for the deposition. I have reviewed the plaintiff's memorandum of attorney's fees and costs that was filed by Mr. Varricchio. I will note that I will not be awarding any costs because no receipts were submitted that are required pursuant to Cato versus Woods Erickson's. So the actual court costs would not be allowed, but I will give Mr. Varricchio a chance to state anything he would like to, and I will give the defendants a chance to state anything they would like.
Your Honor, and I don't want to jump ahead, but the matter is also set today for status on the compliance with the prior order.
It was actually set for compliance on submission of the DCRR, and that's been submitted, and so therefore that portion is off calendar. You can certainly advise, it's not on for compliance with the discovery, but you can certainly advise me where we stand with regard to that.
Yes, Your Honor. And with respect to that, pursuant to the court's directives, we scheduled the depositions of both defendants. They were scheduled for the May 9th, and on May 9th, I received an email from the defendant saying we're not going to appear. So there was no question that they were noticed, and there was no question that they explained that uncategorically that they would not appear. And there's been no additional 16.1 responses or proper responses. There's been no responses to requests for admissions. So that's where we stand. We stand exactly where we were before.
Okay. So they're in violation of the report and recommendation. I don't know if it's become a court order yet at this point. I don't believe it has.
Okay. And so with respect to the fees and costs, well, unfortunately, every time there's a filing, even if it's a perfunctory filing, it results either in an FBI report, a lengthy diatribe against the court, against the system, against myself, the client, and so forth. So I have nothing really to add to the issue of fees. It's just been ongoing, constant, almost a daily process of digesting documents. Yesterday, there was a filing of defendants' memorandum of pro se fees and costs in the amount of $961,000. So it is, this correlates with a motion that we have pending with the court with respect to identifying and labeling the defendants as vexatious litigants. But unfortunately, the legal machinations of the defendants, instead of addressing the merits, we are constantly sidetracked, and even the court itself has been now accused of being a, quote, fraudulent court in their filing of May 20th.
I did see that. All right. Anything that you would like to add, Mr. Boscovich or Bogdovich or Ms. Camp?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
I see here a lady, Alexandra Costa. I have a question. Who is she? Has she right be in this hearing? Because she is not in the list of this hearing. And can she turn on video and audio and introduce herself?
I don't know who Ms. Alexandra Costa is, but this is an open hearing, so she has the right to be present. Maybe she's appearing for the next case that's on for hearing.
But she's not showing her face. It seems to me contempt of court.
Well,
Well,
no,
if
Alexandra
she,
Costa. I'm sorry, Alexandra Costa. She's listed on Varricchio's
Yes.
memorandum of fees.
oh, is that Mr. Varricchio? Is that your,
Yeah,
I apologize, is that your legal assistant?
No, that is a client representative, if you will. The plaintiff is located in the Republic of Georgia. Alexandra Costa is assisting him in the processing and the monitoring of this litigation. She has a formal power of attorney for him, and she's been participating as aiding me in my communications with the client and monitoring the case, but it's not a party.
Okay, well, let's have her state her name, for the record.
Yeah.
Ms. Costa?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you please state your name for the record?
My name is Alexandra Costa.
And are you just here to observe?
I'm here to observe and to convey the contents to the plaintiff, Zurab Tuskaridze, who is 11 time zones away and does not speak very good English. So I communicate all proceedings to him.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's proceed.
Okay,
Anything you would like?
I'm sorry, we weren't finished yet.
No, I wasn't. I was going to now say, let's have you.
Oh,
state
okay.
anything you'd
Thank
like
you.
to
Okay,
say.
and
Sorry.
one other thing I wanted to add about Miss Costa. While Varricchio says she's not a party, there have been multiple pleadings filed with Alexandra Costa's signature on them in this court case.
But before he told us she is only family friend. And she has no power.
So if someone files a pleading, does that make them a party to this case?
Well, she has not filed. She's not a named plaintiff in this case. She's not a named defendant in this case. I don't see her as any. She hasn't been identified as any party in this case.
So why
if
is she
signed-
filing affidavits, statements of facts, and things like that?
I'll have Mr. Varricchio respond to that.
Your Honor, once again, we are way off track. We've been through
I
this.
agree.
And so she is not a party. However, she is a fact witness. I can't recall what filings we have made, but it's not as a party. She's not identifying herself as a party. If anything, she's identifying herself as being a fact witness or whatever information is in the affidavit.
Okay.
This is completely distraction. We've addressed this constantly.
I understand. I'm just giving some leeway to the defendants. They're representing themselves, and I wanted to answer their question. Ms. Camp and Mr. Bobtovich, we need to stick on task of what we're here for today.
Yes.
We're here on plaintiffs, a determination of plaintiffs' requests for attorney's fees that I have said I would award. If there's anything you would like to add in opposition to the amounts that they have requested, this is your time to do so now.
Thank
Okay.
you.
That's what we're here for today.
Okay, yes. We just wanted to address that person to make sure.
Okay.
In regards to, like Varricchio mentioned, the status check on the depositions, I did want to address that a little bit too.
Okay. So you both failed to appear for your depositions, correct?
Well, there was an issue with that, and let me explain. It's just, I'm looking at that court order, the Discovery Commissioners Report and Recommendations.
Yes.
That was filed on May 20th.
Yes.
So that was the court order that we were supposed to follow?
Yes, and I made the order at the time of the hearing that was from April, let's see, the date of the hearing was, I'm sorry, May 2nd. I made the recommendation on May 2nd that you were to appear no later than, I believe, May 16th for your deposition, and that the documents were to be produced by May 9th. So that order was actually, the recommendation was actually made on May 2nd, but the document was not filed until May 20th.
Could I ask as to why?
Because they get, there's 14 days for them to, or they get 14 days to be able to submit it so that they can give you a chance to review it and respond, which you failed to do. And they noted that you did not sign it. And then I have a chance to enter it as a written order, but it is effective on the day of the hearing unless you request it be stayed. And you both disconnected from the hearing and left before we were concluded and did not ask for it to be stayed under the rules. And so it was effective as of the date of the hearing on May 2nd.
Did you see we filed an objection to the
I
commissioner's?
did see that.
Okay. And were we gonna address that, or?
That will be addressed before the district court judge. I don't address the objections to my decisions. The district court judge, Judge Gloria Sturman, will address that when it is before her.
Okay. Well, like I stated before, the reason we did not go to any discoveries or things like that is because Phillip Varricchio is involved in fraudulent activity. This past weekend, the beginning of this week, we went to about the list pendants filed against the property for this house. We went to talk to the Assistant Recorder Courtney Hill, who admitted on audio that he does how Varricchio wants it to be done. He does not check the documents for validity. He does it as they submit them. And he told us to go and report them to the police. What I'm trying to get at, you guys keep pushing us to go do discovery, to do all these things. We do not mind doing that, but not with someone who's doing fraudulent activity since the very first day. And he continues doing so. We have filed multiple motions, pleadings, explaining these things. We have been talking about them. We have been filing documentation. Nobody wants to discuss that. Everyone says nothing is wrong. What you
haven't filed is what the rules require you to file, which is your 16.1 documents. You have failed to file those, which you are required to file under the rules of Nevada Rules of Civil Procedure, and you failed to sit for your depositions, where they could ask you questions, which is required by the Nevada Rules of Civil Procedure, and you failed to do that. Is there anything you would like to say in opposition to the request for attorney's fees that is before us today? You're raising a lot of issues that are not before me today. What is on calendar for us to discuss today is the amount of attorney's fees that I am going to award against you in favor of the plaintiff. So is there anything with regard to the affidavit, or was it a declaration? Just a second. The plaintiff's memorandum of attorney's fees and costs that contained the declaration of Phillip T. Varricchio, Esquire, in support of plaintiff's request for attorney's fees and costs. Is there anything you would like to say with regard to that? Because that's what we're here for today. I understand that you have other issues that you want to discuss, but the ones that are set for hearing today are these matters.
The reason why I bring these issues up is because the very first, how this case started is by filing a verified complaint. After that process begins, we do all the other steps. The reason we never even got to those steps is because there was never a verified signature. So that is the reason why we're not going along with the process, and we're telling you that, we're telling everyone there's been no signature. This case is not valid. And you want us to go with this case validly. It is not valid. There's no attorney's fees that we're going to pay Varricchio for a fraudulent case. There's no Discovery Commissions.
There's no motion to dismiss before me today. And what you're arguing is this isn't a valid case, which would require some form of a motion to dismiss, which is not before me today.
I understand. But one thing I do want to say to you, in your Discovery Commissioners report, you did not include anything that we said during the last hearing, any of the issues that we brought up. You did not mention any of that. And you as a judge, you're responsible to watch for court procedures, for rules, for violations. And even when you see them, you do not do anything. If someone tells you about some violations, you have a responsibility to do something about that, which you have not done last time after I said that the discovery hearing was not served to us. It was privately given to you by Phillip Varricchio. You continue with the process. You continue breaking the law.
I think you misstated what I said in the objection.
No, I did not.
Okay.
Based on the recording from the last hearing, and you ignore every single violation that you yourself have done, and yet you chastise us for not following the laws. The one who's not following the laws is you and the other judges we have been in the court with. There's not a penny that's going to go to Varricchio or to this court from us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anything you would like to say, Ms. Camp?
No, I'm agree with my son.
Okay. All right, Mr. Varricchio, anything you would like to say?
No, Your Honor, except that to the extent that fees are awarded, I would request that they be paid as a condition of their continued participation.
Well, I'm not going to do that. I will recommend that they be paid. It will have to become an order of the court on the DCRR. I have reviewed the declaration of Mr. Varricchio. I did not see, as I indicated earlier, I did not see any receipts attached, and so I am going to decline to award court costs that were requested of $61.75 for paper copies, for the thumb drive for the hearing of $45, and for parking of $15. So I am going to disallow those amounts. The amount of attorney's fees that's been requested is $4,735.20. I have reduced that amount based on my review of the declaration and the supporting invoices and time entries related to the preparation of this, and I'm reducing the amount of attorney's fees that will be awarded to the amount of $3,007.80 that will be due from the defendants jointly and severally to the plaintiff in this matter, in the amount of $3,007.80. That's the amount of the attorney's fees that I feel is warranted for their failure to respond and to their failure to respond and provide discovery in this matter and the necessitating of the filing of the motion. And so that will be the decision. I will ask Mr. Varricchio to prepare the decision. Please circulate that to the plaintiffs, to the defendants for their review as to form and content. If they fail to respond or they refuse to sign, just note refuse to sign on their signature line so that I know, but make sure you give notice to them and make sure you attach a copy that you served them with a copy of it before submitting it to the discovery office. That needs to be submitted within 14 days to avoid sanction to the plaintiffs, and I will set this for a status check hearing for, let's see, just a second.
Just for the record, I will not sign anything. We will not be signing any documents coming from this court or this case.
Okay. Well, that's noted. You still need to send a copy, Mr. Varricchio, and note that they failed to respond. And I will set this for a status check hearing on July 11th at 9 a.m. If that DCRR has been submitted, that status check for the filing of the DCRR will be vacated by the discovery office. Please use the form that is on the court's website for DCRRs regarding attorney's fees and costs.
And Your Honor, is it appropriate to request attorney fees in connection with this hearing?
No, it is not.
We will submit that. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, all of you.
Thank you.